I love it when we see a new launch from Google, and that is exactly what we've just seen. So we've just seen the Fitbit Air get announced, and also Google are kind of killing Fitbit, which I'll get to a little later on. Let me start with the Fitbit Air, and you're going to have to just excuse the lack of B-roll in this video of the Fitbit Air because all I have is the photos that Google have given to me. The Air is going to join the rest of the wearable lineup that Google already has, and it starts at just $99, so you might want to pick one of these up. The idea of the Air is that it's meant to be a distraction-free health tracker, and it's definitely not there to replace your Pixel Watch because it just doesn't do the exact same things. In fact, Google sees this as a companion that you might wear to bed instead of the Pixel Watch, for example, rather than at the same time, because Google have said to us that there's no benefit at all really to wearing both of these at the same time. And I did say that this was not a replacement for your Pixel Watch, and it's because there's a few things that the Fitbit Air just doesn't have. First thing you'll notice is the Air doesn't have a screen. It also doesn't have GPS because that's something that you're going to need your phone for. And one of the biggest reasons that you might want to pick this up is the fact that you actually don't get any notifications from your phone on the Fitbit Air, which I think might be one of its biggest selling points. The Air doesn't have the same sensors as the Pixel Watch, but there are a few things that this can do independently. It can track steps, it can start automatic workouts for biking and running, and for everything else, it'll figure that out after the workout is finished. So it can track your cardio level and give you a readiness score through the Fitbit app. However, Google is killing the Fitbit app, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. One thing that it will do is capture your heart rate all day at intervals of 2 seconds, which is as close to real time as you probably need. And there is enough storage on the Air to keep hold of this data for a week or so there's no stress if you don't go near your phone for any reason at all, because as soon as you do, it'll just sync it all over. The idea of the Air is to set it and forget it, and that's kind of exactly what Google said in their briefing. They don't want you to be thinking that you're wearing a tracker. They want you to get it out of the box, set it up, and then really just forget it's ever there until you need to charge it. They mention that because this is very light, it's just 12 grams with the pebble and the strap, and Google said that most people that they asked had actually forgotten that this was even on their wrist. So this is why Google says it's built for sleep first. It's easy to forget, no distractions, and the only vibrations you're going to feel are the silent alarms that the Air can do, which you have to set up through the app. What it'll do is it'll start tracking your naps from 20 minutes, and Google has said that now the sleep tracking is 15% more accurate. As well as doing that sleep tracking, it's also going to record your SpO2 levels as well and feed them back into the app. There's only 2 reasons that you'd need to take this off, and that is to A, charge it, but what you can do is you can get 7 days of battery life on a single charge, and the puck here for the charging of this looks very similar to the one on the Pixel Watch 4, but the Pixel Watch 4 charging puck will not charge the Fitbit Air. And the second reason you might want to take this off is to change those straps, and there's quite a few that Google are going to give you here. You can get fog, obsidian, berry and lavender straps, and there's quite a few to choose from, and they start from $35, but if you want to, you can actually get a Stephen Curry strap as well, which costs $130, which is actually more expensive than the Air itself. You can go and pre-order this today, and like I said, it's $99, and if you pre-order it today, then you should get it around about May 26th. Okay, let's talk about the Fitbit app, and I did mention that Google is killing this, and what they're doing is killing the Fitbit name and rebranding it as Google Health. Google know how confusing it is having Fitbit, Health Connect and Google Fit. Like, it is a bit of a mess. So to simplify everything, from May 19th, everyone is going to have their Fitbit app updated to Google Health. It honestly just makes sense at this point to bring it all into one app, and don't worry about any data, it'll all just stay there and you won't need to do anything. If you've been using the public preview of the Fitbit app over the last couple of months, then you probably have seen this new redesign, but I love this. I actually think it's probably the best designed app that Google do. Like, it's so good. What Google Health is trying to be here is a place to gather all your data rather than you needing to use 5 different apps. So you can connect apps like Nike Run, All Trails, Peloton, and like a ton more. And what is good is that if you connect a few different apps to Google Health, you can actually tell Google Health what data to take from what app. So you can say, okay, I have this app which I usually use for sleep tracking, so only take my sleep tracking from this specific app. And I think that's really cool. Interestingly though, you can get health data from Apple Health, apparently without the need for a Connect app, which suggests that soon, not right now, but soon, you might be able to get Apple Watch data into Google Health. One of the big updates coming to Google Health is Health Coach, and this is an AI that you can have an interaction with. You can ask it questions on your health data, and at the same time, you can get personalized fitness plans for you based off your data. You can speak to the health coach and check in on how your data matches up and just ask it any general questions. So like an example, it would be, what does my REM sleep mean? And it would explain it to you. Google said that this has been built with 12 experts on a health advisory panel, so the answers are backed up medically. And like I said, the public preview has been out for a while now, and Health Coach has been in that public preview, and I've only used it maybe 3 times to ask it a few questions about my sleep, and that's it. So I'm not really sure how much people are going to use this. However, one thing that you do need to know is that this is not free. So this is going to be part of the paid subscription into Google Health. So if you are not paying for Google Health, then unfortunately you're not going to get to use Health Coach. Also part of the paid plan is adaptive fitness, which is something that is meant to change your goals and workouts depending on how you're actually doing. More detailed sleep insights is also paid, and multimodal logging as well. So this is logging activities in different ways, like telling Google Health you did a 10-minute walk. I'll mention though that if you buy the Fitbit Air, you do actually get Google Health Premium free for 3 months. So it's a little trial period to see whether you would even use those paid features. I feel like Google is changing what Fitbit is all about. It's rebranding it to Google Health, and it's now a hub where you can go and check out all of your fitness data from loads of different apps, and I'm kind of here for this. Let me know what you think though of this whole new rebranding of Fitbit and the Fitbit Air. So is this something you're going to pick up for $99, or is your Pixel Watch just enough and it's not something you really need to swap in and out of? Before you head off, if you can subscribe to the channel, I would massively appreciate it, and if you do that, then I'll see you in the next one.